Footage has emerged proving WNBA referees definitely have an agenda against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
Hey, just like that, Cathy Engelbert, the WNBA, the team owners, the Players Association, in the split of an instance, all of it can change. In a split instance, all of it can change. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear.
The WNBA just did the unthinkable and fired their commissioner, Cathy Engelbert. At least that's what the rumors say after one of the biggest officiating messes we've seen. Fans are furious, players are speaking out, and the league has slammed the panic button hard. But here's the crazy part. They're not just looking for a replacement. Behind the scenes, rumors are circulating that they've already locked in one, and believe me, this name is going to shock everyone. It's a true basketball legend, someone with championship rings, Hall of Fame status, and deep roots in the game. Someone fans never expected to see in the WNBA spotlight. If the whispers are true, this could be the biggest shakeup in league history. So stay tuned as we break down every missed call and piece of drama, and we'll reveal exactly who the WNBA just brought in to clean up this mess.
Off right now, really didn't feel like making this video because what I just witnessed displayed on CBS was horrendous. These WNBA referees need to be fined. Something needs to happen. I mean, the lack of calls against the New York Liberties was at an all-time high, bro. I mean, if this was an NBA game, a lot of players would have been fouled out. A lot of players would have been in deep foul trouble. The way Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever was getting fouled, it was just hard to watch at times. Now, granted, they rallied back from a 15-1 lead. From a 15-point deficit. But, guys, I'm telling you right now, the referees are the storyline in this one, bro. And I told y'all, I stressed to y'all this offseason, I told y'all what it was. I say, if Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever be successful, the referees is going to try to derail it. And that's exactly what happened in this game, bro. They derailed them from beating the New York Liberty.
Let's go back in time. New York Liberty versus Indiana Fever sold-out crowd with playoff vibes. The match between Caitlin Clark and the reigning champions had all the makings of a major event, including national television coverage and high stakes. However, it started off as a ref show, and not in a good way. Clark was hacked almost every time she touched the ball, and Lexi Hall was whistled for a foul that actually never happened. It was the kind of call that makes you stop and wonder, are the referees watching the same game we are?
I am always dumbfounded by how many times they call fouls on screeners and how many illegal screens are set in the WNBA.
After the buzzer, Clark and Sophie Cunningham were enraged and chased down the official to obtain an explanation, but the referee turned away, walked away, and refused to interact. You could sense that this wasn't simply a difficult defeat, it was a turning point. Let's examine the figures. In a game decided by a slim margin of victory, the Liberty made 32 free throws while the Fever only made 15. That is more than double.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left.
Foul right there. Boom.
Clark doesn't get the shot off. Cloud locks her up. And New York comes into Indianapolis and takes the checkered flag.
Now, look, Natasha Cloud, and I made a video yesterday. I told y'all Natasha Cloud could possibly be the reason. I say, I hope not, but she could possibly be the reason Caitlin Clark.
That's not just a statistic, it's the result. And here's the thing. The Fever's 31-point free throw disparity during the first part of the season is a warning sign the size of Madison Square Garden. It's not just bad luck, it's systematic. Remember when Kennedy Carter blindsided her off the ball? It was the type of hit you see in the NFL, not on a basketball court, yet the referees called it a common foul. No flagrant, no tech, just a shrug. Caitlin Clark has been taking more contact than any rookie should ever experience. Player safety is at risk due to more than simply subpar officiating.
There could be an NBA referee scout at any high school game. And I know that that was something that was going viral on Twitter when we were talking about the referee.
Following the backlash, the league announced that the referees from the Liberty Fever game were suspended. This sounded like accountability, but insiders swiftly put an end to that. According to several reports, the commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, didn't lead that decision. In fact, she was asked to resign quietly and privately immediately after the suspension was announced. This wasn't just a slap on the wrist for the referees. Rather, it was a full-on political power play, and when Clark, the most prominent rookie since perhaps ever, began speaking out, it pushed the situation over the edge. Some claim that Engelbert was thrown under the bus, while others claim she lost the locker room long ago. This drama didn't begin last week. Let's go back to the previous season, when the Liberty, a fantastic team with a superb squad, were rightful champions and won the WNBA Finals. Cathy Engelbert then entered the court to give the trophy while wearing a dress that was blue and black, colors of Liberty.
Indiana Fever star rookie Caitlin Clark was subject to several intentional fouls. Now, they also brought up Game 5 of the WNBA Finals. We actually made a whole video about that as well because there were some suspect calls at the end of that game, and a lot of people felt like the WNBA Finals were actually rigged because Cathy Engelbert was also wearing a dress that had the New York City skyline on it. So there was just a bunch of things that seemed kind of...
Fans watching at home lost it. Was it intentional? Who knows? But optics matter, and to thousands of fans, that moment confirmed what they'd been whispering: the league plays favorites. Since then, every controversial call in favor of the Liberty has only added fuel to that fire. And after the Fever game, that fire became an inferno. The WNBA's attempt to calm the storm by suspending referees backfired instead of restoring trust. It triggered a deeper wave of doubt. Fans asked, why now? Why only after the outrage? Why only after the video clips went viral? It felt like the league wasn't leading, it was reacting, and that's a dangerous place for any league to be. Meanwhile, the Fever players are playing their hearts out. The fans are packing arenas. The media is finally paying attention, but at the top it felt like no one had a plan. And that brings us to the real issue. This league is growing faster than it's evolving, and that gap, it's starting to show. Would any of this be happening if Caitlin Clark wasn't in the league? Probably not. Clark isn't just another rookie. She's a ratings magnet, a marketing goldmine. She's filling arenas, boosting TV deals, and bringing millions of new fans into the fold. And with that spotlight comes scrutiny. When Clark gets hit and there's no whistle, it's trending. When she's pulled down in a close game and the refs swallow their whistles. When your league finally receives widespread notice, Twitter blows up. Every error is blown out of proportion, and every no call becomes a headline. For this reason, protecting your stars is not an option, it is a need. Let's move on to the media disaster. Cathy Engelbert was questioned on the harmful aspects of fan conduct on social media, particularly the racism, misogyny, and homophobia directed against Caitlin Clark. During an interview, other players include Angel Ree. Her answer: she pivoted to marketing, called it a bird magic moment, said rivalries were good for business, that people caring even if they were hateful meant the league was relevant. Cue the backlash. Terry Jackson, executive director of the WNBA, slammed the comments. She said it plainly: there is absolutely no place in sport or in life for the vile hate, racist language, and misogynistic attacks our players are facing. Players like Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, and Alicia Clark were vocal. They said Engelbert missed the moment, that she had a silver platter to denounce hate and fumbled it. Instead of protecting the league's values, she protected the brand. So here we are. The WNBA is finally in the national spotlight. More people are watching than ever before. The arenas are packed. The headlines are nonstop. But while the lights are bright, the foundation beneath is shaking. The officiating, it's broken. The leadership, it needs a complete rebuild. And trust, let's be real, it's hanging by a thread right now. Players are speaking out, coaches are losing faith, fans are asking the hard questions, and the league, it can't afford to stay quiet. And get this, it happened during that rough game against the Liberty, the one where she was getting bumped, shoved, and flat out hacked every time she touched the ball. No whistle, no protection, just more punishment game after game after the game. She told the team her leg was hurting, and they got her checked out. MRI confirmed it, quad strain. And this isn't the same thing from the preseason. This is new coach knowing how important she is to this club and this league. Look, Stephanie White made it plain that they would be extremely cautious with her. Since training camp, Caitlin has been overcoming obstacles. She even skipped her first preseason game due to some discomfort. But now that it's getting severe, they must shut her down and give her time to recover. Not to be overlooked is her recent performance on the court, which includes 19 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. She's running the show in Indiana, and now she's out possibly for 4 straight games. This is a big deal not just for the Fever, but for the whole WNBA. When Caitlyn's not on the court, the league feels different. She brings the energy, the attention, the highlights. And without her, you can already feel the drop-off. So now the question is, how does the Fever bounce back? Who steps up while their leader is out? And can the league keep this momentum going? Without its biggest star active, hopefully Caitlyn comes back soon healthy and ready to go, but until then, the WNBA just got a whole lot more unpredictable. All right, back to what we were saying now. Let's talk about the name that's got everyone buzzing behind the scenes, the name that's popping up in text group chats and front office whispers all across the league. Who's stepping in to clean up this mess? Who has the guts, the clout, and the vision to steer the WNBA out of controversy and back into the spotlight for the right reasons, according to a number of sources? The WNBA is aiming to bring in a game-changer rather than merely finding a replacement. Larry Bird is someone who embodies basketball and not only understands it, but also commands respect from the time they enter the room. Yes, you heard correctly. Larry Bird, the legendary NBA Hall of Famer from Indiana, the man with ice in his veins and a basketball IQ that changed the way the game is played. He's not just a former player, he's a cultural icon, a straight shooter who built championship teams with the Indiana Pacers, and who understands what true leadership looks like on and off the court. And if this rumor ends up being true, the WNBA isn't just trying to patch up a PR nightmare, they're trying to shift the entire narrative. This isn't about damage control, it's about starting fresh with a face fans already know and trust, because let's be real, nothing says we mean business like putting Larry Bird in charge of fixing the league's image. Imagine Larry Bird as commissioner. Seriously, take a second and picture that this isn't just some PR stunt. This is Larry freaking Bird, a guy who's done it all: MVPs, championships, built teams, led franchises, and earned the respect of just about everyone in the basketball world. He brings clout, no doubt about that, but more than that, he brings a kind of presence the league desperately needs right now. He's not going to be a quiet figurehead who signs papers and nods politely. Number Bird is a basketball legend who has been in the trenches. He knows how to lead. He knows how to listen to players, coaches, and fans. He understands fairness because he has played through unfair calls. He understands greatness because he has defined it, and he isn't afraid to call out what's broken. If Larry Bird takes over, you can expect changes immediately. There won't be a year later, but there will be stricter officiating standards, clearer, more consistent rules, a genuine plan to protect players from needless hits and dirty plays. You better believe it, and most importantly, there will be accountability at the top. If this rumor is true, this WNBA season just went from chaotic to historic. Let me know in the comments if you think Larry Bird is the answer the WNBA needs, or if this is just another out-of-control rumor in a league. Larry doesn't do politics, he plays basketball. So, picture Larry Bird walking into that office, picking up the phone, and telling the entire league that it's a new day in the WNBA and things are about to get real. Everybody,